Gemini, have you ever wondered why your soul chose to appear between May and June? Why not the stillness of winter or the fiery month of August, but this very moment when the world shifts seasons, when the sky whispers between spring and summer, when light and shadow touch in perfect harmony? That is not a coincidence, because your soul born of air chose the time when the universe's intelligence, awareness, and creative energy were at their strongest. You came into this world not just to live, but to communicate, to awaken minds, to speak the truths that others have never dared to think. Perhaps you've always felt different. Your mind runs faster than your emotions. Your heart longs for understanding, but fears being misunderstood. That is not a flaw. It is the mark of a true Gemini soul, ever-changing, yet deeply connected to higher realms of energy. You are the one the universe sent to give voice to what's unspoken, to bridge the gap between reason and feeling, between reality and dreams. And today, I want you to pause for a moment. Take a deep breath, because what you're about to hear may change the way you see yourself. Relax your shoulders, prepare yourself a warm cup of tea or coffee, and join me on a journey to discover why you were born in May or June, and what that truly means for your Gemini soul. If you're ready for this journey, drop a short comment saying, "I'm ready to discover why I was born in May or June," and don't forget to like and subscribe so the universe knows you're open to receive the message meant just for you. Part 1. The Cosmic Question and Why Your Soul Chose This Moment. Gemini, have you ever wondered why your soul chose to appear between May and June, that fleeting moment when spring softly closes its doors and summer begins to hum its first melody, when the sky hasn't yet stilled, but hasn't fully blazed either, that fragile boundary where everything moves, breathes, and transforms? Is that merely a coincidence? Or is it a deliberate choice made by your soul, the soul of a Gemini born of air, symbol of thought, awareness, and the power to connect the universe through words, through ideas, through a mind that is always awake? The universe never acts by chance. Every moment, every breath, every ray of light carries its own frequency, and May and June hold some of the highest frequencies of intellect, communication, and awareness. When you were born within that range, your soul chose a uniquely powerful energy field, one of transition, duality, and the bridge between two worlds, the inner and outer, the visible and invisible, the human and the divine. Gemini did not come into this world merely to speak. You came to make others hear what they've never heard, to help them see what they've never seen, and to feel what they've never dared to feel. Your soul chose the moment of changing seasons, because you are the one who stands between two currents of energy, one who can sense both the gentleness of spring and the burning vitality of summer. You are the bridge where thought meets emotion, where reason melts into intuition, where the heart and mind sing together. You were born when the light moves fastest, when the earth is turning to receive a new vibration. That isn't always comfortable. It makes your mind feel like it never stops, as if thousands of thoughts constantly weave through your head. Yet that very restlessness is a sacred gift. Because you were born to see more, feel deeper, think wider, and connect further than most people ever could. The universe sent you here as a recorder of the wind, a messenger carrying invisible messages. You read the frequencies of others. You sense sadness before a word is spoken. You understand the silence between stories. And sometimes that sensitivity exhausts you. But know this: what makes you feel heavy is exactly what makes you extraordinary. No one but Gemini can stand in the middle of reason and emotion and still hold perfect balance. May and June are when the universe's light and wisdom reach their peak. Born in this time, you carry within you the energy code of awakening. You are the gentle breeze that stirs a still lake, but also the whirlwind that forces the collective mind to evolve. You speak not only through words, but through energy, through your eyes, your understanding, and the sincerity encoded deep within your DNA. And perhaps sometimes you ask, why do I change as fast as the wind? Why do I lose focus so easily? Why do I always feel like two opposites in one? But that is not a flaw. That is design. For Gemini is born from the duality of light and shadow, meant to understand both sides of existence. Without contradiction, you could never reach true wisdom. Gemini, you are the rhythm keeper of the world's movement, proof that the universe needs souls who speak of imperfection, who see deeply into both light and darkness to bring balance. You don't just exist, you mirror the universe's light through words, emotions, and thought. If you've ever felt like you don't belong anywhere, remember this. You belong to the in-between, that sacred threshold where everything begins and everything ends. That is your home, the borderland between two worlds, where only the most refined and resilient Gemini souls can thrive. You were born between two seasons because your soul carries two natures in harmony: light and shadow, logic and emotion, human and angelic. That multidimensional essence is something only highly evolved souls dare to choose. And it is this complexity that grants you the power to become a symbol of awareness and awakening in this era. So next time you wonder why you think too much, feel too deeply, or change too quickly, remember, the universe chose you for that very reason. Because no one else can be as free as the wind, and no one else can bring the light of knowledge, connection, and cosmic wisdom into this world the way you do. Partcox. The energy of May. The awakener. Geminis born in May. Geminis born in May. You are not just early souls. You are pioneers of human awareness. The first breeze announcing the universe's awakening. May is the time when everything blooms, when ideas multiply, when thought ignites. And that is why your soul chose to enter the world at this very moment. When life vibrates at the highest frequency of birth and curiosity, you came into this world with the eyes of an explorer. Everything feels new. Every story deserves to be heard. Every person carries a universe within them. Your soul refuses to stay still. You want to understand, connect, analyze, and share. That is the essence of a May Gemini. The energy of beginnings and the sprouting of wisdom. When you walk into a room, your energy shifts the atmosphere. People start talking more, thinking differently, and even feel activated simply by your presence. Because you don't just speak, you ignite minds. You make people want to explore, to ask why, to expand their perception of the world. You are like the first light of dawn, not too bright, but enough to keep the darkness from sleeping any longer. Your soul came to plant seeds of thought, to awaken awareness in others, to spark curiosity and the desire for evolution within them. That's why you can speak to anyone from the youngest soul to the most seasoned one. Your words always carry the energy of opening the door of intellect, of belief, of emotional resonance. May Geminis are those the universe has tasked with awakening the world from the sleep of habit. You often bring ideas that shock others, not because they're too grand, but because they touch places people have never dared to look. And you deliver those truths with such lightness, intelligence, and grace that no one feels resistance. But because you possess such powerful mental energy and an ever-moving intellect, you can easily become scattered. Ideas come to you as swiftly as the wind, and if you aren't centered, they leave just as quickly. You might conceive 10 ideas in an hour, yet abandon them all as new energy flows in. That is the challenge of the May Gemini soul. To learn how to focus the wind in one direction, so you not only ignite inspiration, but also illuminate results. The universe placed within you the ability to see potential in everything. But to turn potential into reality, you must learn to slow down, to choose the one idea most worth nurturing and see it through. Because when the wind learns to blow steadily, it creates waves. And when intellect is trained with patience, it becomes the guiding light for generations to come. Sometimes you may feel different too fast, too curious, too multifaceted compared to others. But that's exactly what makes you special. You didn't come here to blend in, you came to awaken. You are the gentle knock on humanity's door of consciousness. The subtle push that makes the world think, question, and begin to transform. When you speak, the universe listens. When you write, your ideas travel through higher frequencies. And when you touch someone's life with your sincere curiosity, you help them open a new part of their own soul, the part they had forgotten. So, if at times your mind feels too loud, too scattered, with too many directions, don't blame yourself. Remember that you are the first wind of the season, and your role is to stir, not to settle. Let your intellect and emotions dance together, and never fear your constant change. For that very change is what makes you most alive and most true. May Gemini, you are the awakener of the world. When you speak, you open doors for others. When you believe, you ignite belief in them. And when you dare to live guided by your curiosity and wisdom, you become the breeze that carries the scent of humanity's awakening. Remember, your mind is the gateway of the universe, the passage through which every idea, every message, every intuition flows before it reaches the world. The universe is waiting for you to realize this, to begin using your gift consciously. If you were born in May, affirm your mission by commenting, "I am the awakener," to activate this energy. And don't forget to like and subscribe to continue our journey into the next chapter, where we'll uncover the mysterious energy of the Geminis born in June, the ones known as the messengers of light. Part 3. The energy of June. The messenger of light. Geminis, born in June. Geminis born in June, you are the souls of radiant light, the messengers of the universe, carrying the mission to communicate, connect, and heal through your words, your energy, and your very presence. June is the peak of light, the moment when the sun reaches its brightest point, when the world touches the harmony between mind and heart, between understanding and emotion. And it was in that very moment that your soul chose to appear, not by accident, but by divine design. You were born when light was not just shining, but expanding, no longer a single beam, but an ocean of illumination covering the earth. This means you, June Gemini, carry the energy of expansion, connection, and soul-level communication. You don't speak to be heard, you speak, so that others may remember the light within themselves. June Geminis are known as the messengers of light. You did not come to argue, you came to transform. Every word you speak, when it comes from the heart, has the power to touch the deepest layer of another's soul. Your voice, your eyes, your energy, and your sensitivity. These are the languages through which the universe communicates with humanity. The world today is longing for those who can speak truth, but with gentleness and compassion. And that is your role. You are not a warrior of swords, you are a warrior of words, of understanding, of kindness. You can mend broken relationships with a sincere conversation, dissolve someone's loneliness with a few genuine words of comfort. Because you were born in June, the time when intellect has matured, your mission is no longer to explore like the May Geminis, but to teach, share, and uplift. You turn knowledge into wisdom, words into light, and understanding into medicine for hearts that have lost faith. When you speak with love, the universe speaks through you. When you listen with empathy, others see themselves reflected in your eyes. You are the bridge between the human heart and the higher frequencies of the cosmos. That is your gift and your sacred responsibility. But remember, the soul of a June Gemini also faces a great challenge: scattered energy and disconnection from self. Because you were born to connect with so many, you may lose your boundaries, easily absorbed by others' emotions, and sometimes forget your own true voice. When that happens, you may feel empty, as if you're speaking but no one truly hears you, smiling while quietly exhausted inside. Here's the secret: you don't have to make people understand you. You only need to return to the center of light within your heart. When you speak from that place where there is no need to justify, prove, or persuade, the universe will make others listen. June Gemini, you were born to bring messages of light into this noisy world. When you speak, don't speak to win, speak to illuminate. When you share, don't do it for praise. Do it because you know it's the only way for light to continue spreading. You are not here to seek attention. You are here to create spaces where truth can be spoken softly, yet powerfully. Think about the times when you've said something simple, a word of encouragement, a personal story, and saw gratitude in someone's eyes. That's proof that your energy reached them. Your mission is not to change the entire world, but to touch the souls who are meant to hear your voice. You are the translator of the universe's language, turning what is invisible into words that humans can understand. You speak for emotions, faith, and awakening. And that's why every time you stay silent for too long, the universe nudges you to write, to speak, to create, because light only lives when it's shared. And if sometimes you feel lost, don't be afraid. Light is never gone. It's only covered by the dust of worry and comparison. Return to yourself, breathe, and remember, you are not just a speaker, you are a bearer of divine messages. June Gemini, you are the messenger of light, born to turn words into miracles, to remind others that they too carry this same light within. When you live true to that essence, the world around you begins to transform because your light spreads like sunlight, reflected on water, gentle, yet unstoppable. You are the bearer of light's message. When you speak from your heart, the universe speaks through you. If you were born in June, affirm your mission by commenting, "I am the messenger," beneath this video as a declaration to the universe that you are ready to speak with the light of your soul. And don't forget to like and subscribe, so we can continue exploring the twin mission of Gemini, the soul born to connect, to heal, and to enlighten. Part 4. The mystery of Gemini, two souls in one. The union of energies. Gemini, perhaps your whole life you've heard people say that you have two sides, that you change easily, bright one moment, quiet the next, laughing one day, introspective the next, full of energy, and then suddenly silent. But what if I told you that isn't a flaw? It's the miracle of your soul. You are not two different people. You are two frequencies of the same soul, vibrating, interacting, coexisting within one form. One part of you came to learn, to understand the world, to touch the fragments of humanity through intellect and endless curiosity. The other came to express, to speak what others only dare to think, to illuminate through words, energy, and profound understanding. These two frequencies aren't in conflict, they complement each other, like inhaling and exhaling, like day and night taking turns so the world stays balanced. The universe chose Gemini to prove something extraordinary: that light and shadow can exist within one soul, that humans never need to choose a side, because truth lives at the intersection. You are living proof that contradiction isn't a mistake. It is the mechanism of soul evolution. Because you feel everything so deeply, you change easily. Because you understand both sides, you are often torn. Because you see more, you sometimes feel alone. But remember, every great soul feels lonely during the first stages of awakening. The world simply hasn't adjusted to your frequency yet. When you were younger, you may have feared this duality, afraid of being unstable, inconsistent, or different. But as you mature, you'll realize your flexibility is your greatest gift. Because you can understand both the speaker and the silent one. You can see the pain hidden behind a smile and find light in the darkest corners. Gemini is the interpreter between worlds, between emotion and logic, between the unseen and the seen, between the human and the divine. You can listen to what isn't said and give words to what others cannot express. When you embrace your dual nature, you no longer have to choose, because you are the bridge, the meeting point of opposites, the center of balance in human form. The universe gave you the ability to transform conflict into wisdom. Each time you feel torn between want and need, love and fear, staying and leaving, that isn't weakness. It's a soul lesson. Every oscillation is a breath of expansion. The more you experience contradiction, the more clearly you discover who you truly are, and through that, you help others understand themselves. You were born to bring understanding, not because you have all the answers, but because you dare to ask the questions no one else will. You don't fear uncertainty. You accept it as part of your journey. That's what makes you a guide in this era, a time when humanity is forgetting how to hear its inner voice. Gemini, your soul didn't come here to be stable. It came to move, to reflect, to remind the world that we don't need to be perfect, only authentic. You are the wind, and the wind cannot be contained. You exist to shift, to stir, to awaken the souls who have grown too comfortable in their stillness. And if sometimes you feel too much, too sensitive, too fast, too complex, smile. That is the sign of a soul expanding beyond its old limits. You are not broken. You are evolving. When you stop trying to be consistent in the way others expect, you begin to reach true unity, the union between the two halves of yourself. In that state, you no longer have to choose between logic and emotion, because you realize both are languages of the universe speaking through you. Gemini, look into your own eyes. In the mirror you will see two different lights, yet both belong to the same soul. One light learns, one light teaches, one seeks to understand, one seeks to illuminate, and both are equally sacred. Part 5. The Awakening and the Soul Contract of Gemini. Gemini, before you were born, your soul had a long conversation with the universe. A sacred contract was made not with words but with light. In that agreement, you accepted two gifts and two great responsibilities: wisdom and connection. The universe knew the world would enter an era of turbulence, where people would drift apart, where words would be misused, where information would overflow, while true understanding would fade. And in that moment, Gemini was chosen, because no one understands the power of words the way you do. No one can feel the rhythm between the mind and the soul quite like you. You were sent here to be the bridge between person and person, between Earth and the cosmos, between logic and emotion. You are the messenger of the new age, the one who retells stories the world has forgotten, who breathes soul into language, who reminds humanity of the true essence of communication, that it is not merely speaking, but transmitting energy. Every word you speak, every thought you share, carries the power to shift someone's vibration. But with great power comes challenge. Gemini must learn when to speak and when to stay silent, because your words can heal, but they can also wound if they don't come from the center of love. You must learn to use your voice as a tool of healing, not as a weapon. When you speak through light, the world opens. When you speak through fear, chaos follows. Look back at your life. Haven't you noticed that when you're truly yourself, everything flows more easily? Ideas arrive out of nowhere, the right people appear, and doors open without effort. That's because, in those moments, you are living your soul's true mission. But there were also times when you felt lost. You spoke, but no one seemed to understand. You tried to connect, but felt isolated. It was as if you were in the middle of the world's conversation yet unheard. That is a sign that you've been hiding from your true essence. When Gemini denies their own light, they lose connection not just with others, but with their own soul. Awakening isn't about learning something new. Awakening is remembering what you already agreed to before you came here. Your soul chose to be born in May or June because this is the season of air, wisdom, and communication. Every breath you take is a whisper from the universe. Speak meaningfully. Connect through love. Be the bridge that helps this world understand itself again. You were not born to live an ordinary life or to repeat what others have said. You were born to bring a new frequency to this world, to help people hear the voice of their own soul amidst the noise of modern life. Every time you speak your truth, every time you share from your heart, you fulfill another line of that sacred contract. Gemini, look at your journey. Every loss, every misunderstanding, every time you felt unseen, they were all preparation. To become a bridge, you first had to know what disconnection feels like. Only those who have known loneliness can truly heal the loneliness of others. And now, the universe is asking you, are you ready to remember your contract? Are you ready to use your voice, your wisdom, and your heart to bring light to the world? Because when you speak, you are not just you. You are the voice of thousands of other Geminis, souls who are also awakening, finding their way back to their true essence. You were born in May or June for a reason. That moment was chosen to send a messenger, and that messenger is you. Remember, the universe never makes mistakes. It chose you because it knows you are strong enough, intelligent enough, and compassionate enough to carry this mission. And when you start living in alignment with your Gemini energy, speaking through light, connecting through empathy, and acting through intuition, life will begin to flow effortlessly. No more struggle, no more resistance, only the natural current of the universe moving through you. Do not dim your light because it dazzles others. Do not shrink because you fear being misunderstood. Your soul was designed to shine even when the world isn't yet ready to see. Gemini, the time has come to choose again. Choose to return to your mission. Choose to use your words for healing. Choose to connect through the heart. And remember, every action you take, no matter how small, is part of that sacred contract between you and the universe, written long before you ever arrived here. Gemini, if you've listened this far, it's no longer a coincidence, because messages like this only find you when your soul is ready to receive them. Today's journey wasn't just to help you understand why you were born in May or June, but to help you remember who you truly are. You are not just a Gemini, you are a connector, an inspirer, a soul sent to awaken the light within others. The universe has given you two sacred gifts: intelligence, and connection. When you learn to use your intellect to listen, your words to heal, and your flexibility to create understanding, you'll realize this truth. The world changes in the same way you choose to communicate with it. The greatest lesson for Gemini is balance. To know when to speak and when to stay silent. To know when to share and when to hold back. To nurture your inner energy. Because your words can open the doors of awareness, but only when they come from a heart that truly listens. This life doesn't need you to be perfect, it needs you to be real. When you live true to your nature, curious, open, intelligent, and always seeking connection, you become the breeze of awakening, inspiring those who feel lost in silence. Use your sharp perception to understand others without judgment. Use your words to build, not divide. And use your energy to make the world a little softer, a little lighter. Every time you choose to live by your Gemini frequency, not to please, but to be genuine, fluid, and sincere, you'll see the universe begin to open. Ideas flow more easily, opportunities arrive faster, and the right people appear as if they were always there, simply waiting for you to speak. The universe didn't choose you to stay silent. It chose you to speak, to express, to connect. So keep using the light within you to reach the hearts that need it. Spread positivity through every word, every action, every breath you give. And if you feel this message awakening something inside you, leave a comment below saying, "I choose my purpose," as a promise to your own soul that from this moment on, you will live in alignment with your true mission. Hit like, subscribe, and share this video with other Geminis, so together we can spread light and understanding across the world. You were not born to blend in. You were born to remind the world that light and wisdom can exist together. Thank you for being here today, Gemini. See you on the next journey where we'll continue to explore the deeper secrets of your soul. Until then, keep shining, keep connecting, and keep being you.